There are many barren and forsaken lands within Middle-earth, ruled by evil and plagued by ill fortune and foul creatures. The greatest of these is the kingdom of Angmar in the north, for this cruel realm is the stronghold of the Witch King, Sauron's chief servant and lord of the Nazgul. It was from the realm of Angmar that the Witch King unleashed his fury upon the northern kingdoms of Middle-earth. So great were his armies that those who opposed him trembled in their cities. The Witch King was able to use his dark powers to bind tortured spirits to his will, unleashing creatures of nightmare upon his foes. It was this fate that saw the once great kingdom of Arnor fall into ruin. Hordes of orcs marched upon the capital, Fornost, bringing destruction and death to the people there. Joined by ghostly spirits of lords and warriors past, and twisted, malignant apparitions bound to the will of the Witch King, the armies of Angmar slaughtered all who opposed them. Holds in the north, the Witch King endured, and his armies, though scattered, slowly sought to regroup. At the end of the Third Age, there are still packs of orcs and wargs raiding and plundering the homesteads of the north. Bands of trolls roam the barren lands in search of fresh victims, and there are whispers of unnatural beings lingering within the shadows of that fell kingdom. Within the ruins of the kingdom of Angmar, spectres tempt travellers to the unsuspected doom. Tortured spirits are still bound to the will of the Witch King. For a while he lives, they can never be free, cursed to wander the forgotten highways of a realm long since abandoned. Barrow-wights hold court within the halls they once ruled over, no longer the wise and noble rulers of old. They are now beings of evil and malice, tasked with sacrificing those they find in the name of the Dark Lord. But there are even greater terrors still. Hidden within the realm of Angmar lies a great evil, a being that has survived countless centuries. That terror is Gulavhar, a demon of the ancient world. Quite how he survived the ages of the world will never be known. Yet it is likely that he was drawn to the northern realms by the ever-growing dark powers of the Witch King that emanates from Angmar's borders. Gulavhar now roams this land, ever eager to feast upon blood and sustain himself for ages to come. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Wraith, and today I'm going to be talking about Angmar and giving my review on the faction and possibly how to play it and how to collect it and why you might consider doing so. So, I love Angmar. I love the lore, I love everything about them, how edgy they are. That's a good way of saying it. They are very edgy. Yeah, if you like spooky things and undead, things like that, this is the faction for you. So, we'll start off quickly with the army bonus. It's pretty good. Friendly Angmar orc models within 3 inches of a friendly spirit hero gain the Terror special rule, and you have a fair few spirits in this force. So, who can we have? Well, we've got the Witch King of Angmar, obviously. He, for some reason, isn't under the Angmar faction. He is part of Barrow-wights faction, but we'll quickly cover him first. The Witch King of Angmar. Right, so he is 70 to 150 points. As with the unnamed Wraith, you can upgrade him as much as you like, but having a hero of legend in Angmar for 70 points is dirt cheap. So yeah, he comes. This is his base standard without upgrades. Movement 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6, no might, 10 will, no fate. 70 points. So yeah, you get what you pay for. But you can, and each point upgraded, so a point of might or will or fate will cost you 5 points. Okay, his max you can get him to is 3 might, 20 will, and 3 fate. Whatever you do, definitely give him will, okay, and fate and might. Do everything. He's your leader. Yeah, at least give him 1 fate. Come on, give him a chance. You don't want one bow killing him. Yeah, he's fantastic, but I would invest a little bit into him. He comes with heavy armor and a sword. He's got heroic, resolve, channeling, strike, strength, and challenge. So that's not too bad. And his upgrades are pretty crazy. As you can see here, he's on his gorgeous beastie. You can give him an armored fell beast for 70 points, or a normal fell beast for 50 points. I recommend just the old standard fell beast. No point paying 20 points more for like a little bit more defense. You can give him the Crown of Morgul for 25 points. The Crown of Morgul is rather yummy. We'll go over that in a second. Armored Horse for 15, Horse for 10, Morgul Blade. Never been a fan of the Morgul Blade, but it's up to you. It's classic. Or you can give him the Two-Handed Flail, 5 points. Yeah, not a fan either. So you get an extra point of defense with the Armored Felbeast for 20 points. Seemed like a good investment. It's up to you. The Crown of Morgul. If he has the Crown of Morgul, he has 3 attacks instead. Additionally, whilst wearing the Crown of Morgul, the Witch King of Angmar can choose to reroll 1 dice when making a casting or resist test. So, 3 attacks sounds a lot nicer. Now, put Monstrous Charge on that, on a Felbeast or a horse. You got 4 attacks, knocking them prone, 8 attacks at strength 4. Yes, very yummy. The Morgul Blade. Right, what does that do? Once per game, and that's the biggest issue I have. Once per game. This model may declare they are using their Morgul Blade during the fight phase before rolling to wound. So you don't have to wait until you see, like, you get to see if you win the duel at least, which is pretty good. If you're using it, you need to direct all of your strikes against a single target. Okay. An enemy that suffers a wound from the Morgul Blade is automatically slain regardless of the numbers of wounds on their profile. Heroes may use fate, yada yada yada. Okay. If the model using the Morgul Blade is mounted, they must use the rider's attack and strength when using the Morgul Blade. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. The reason I don't really like this is it's only once per game and you could fluff it. But on the flip side, the things you really want to one-shot usually have some way of not getting one-shot. So, like, I want to one-shot a Mumuk, but you can't. I want to one-shot Smaug, but you can't. The Balrog, oh wait, you can't. So, yeah. You could go around one-shotting eagles, though, if you so please. Then, the flail is just a flail, okay? Two-handed flail. You can whiz around with it if you want. He has got Harbinger of Evil, Terror, and Will of Evil, so he will lose a point of will each time he is in combat, which kind of sucks. But Harbinger is a fantastic rule. And of course he causes terror. He's a terrifying boy. He's got Drain Courage, which casts on a 2+, 12 inches. Transfix, 3+, 12 inches. Compel, 4+, 12 inches. Instill Fear, 4+, 3 inches. Your staff is broken, 12 inches, 4+. I flipped it around for some reason. Black Dart, 12 inches, 5+. Sap Will, 5+, 12 inches. Flipped it again at the end there. You see what I did? Very nice profile. I love the Witch King. If you're playing Angmar, you bring the Witch King. Now here is my most favourite Wraith model of all time. I love the Tainted. He looks fantastic. He looks decrepit. He looks undead. He looks like a ring wraith. I love him. Very, very dark and scary looking. You wouldn't want to walk down an alley and see that guy riding at you. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in. And I'm going to quick fire some of these stats now. So, the Tainted is 120 points, like most of the named Wraiths. He is Fight 5, 4+, shoot value, Strength 4, Defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 6. He is a hero of valor. He's got 2 might, 14 will, and 2 fate, yes. Heavy armor, sword, heroic channeling. Boom. Options: you can give him an armoured fell beast, a regular fell beast, same points as the Witch King, an armoured horse, or a horse, same points as the Witch King. He's got Harbinger of Evil, Terror, Will of Evil, and his special rule is weird. He's got Miasmatic Presence, if I've said that correctly. At the start of the move phase, before heroic actions are declared, the Tainted may elect to spend a point of will. If he does this, until the end of the turn, all warrior models within 6 inches may not benefit from Stand Fast rule nor take part in heroic actions. Seeping Decay is his second rule. At the start of the fight phase, roll a d6 for each non-spirit model, friendly or enemy, that are in base contact with the Tainted. If the model is a cavalry model, you roll for both of them, the mount and the rider. On a 6, they just suffer a wound. Yeah, he's pretty tasty. Magical powers, he's got Drain Courage, 12 inches, 2+, Transfix, 12 inches, 3+, Compel, 12 inches, 4+, Black Dart, 12 inches, 5+, Instill Fear, 3 inches, 5+, Sap Will, 12 inches, 5+. All the lovely spells. He is fantastic, okay? Absolutely phenomenal. Just switching off people's heroics is disgusting, pretty much. I mean, sure, the hero can run in and be all heroic-like, but ouch. He's going to get jumped on by the rest of your army if he does that. Yeah, very tasty. Love this boy. Here we have the Dwimmerlaik, the third Wraith in this army roster. He has 120 points. He's got a move value of 6, fight value of 5+, 4+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6. He's got 0 might, which is horrendous. 16 will, which is good, and 2 fate. He is a hero of valor. He's got heavy armor and a 2-handed sword because, you know, Wraiths want to get into combat. No, they don't. He can have, well, he's got heroic channeling, and he's got all the same upgrades as the Tainted. Same special rules, Harbinger of Evil, Terror, Will of Evil, but he's got Sap Fortitude, which is a passive rule. Every time the hero model within 6 inches of the Dwimmerlaik spends a point of might, will, or fate, the Dwimmerlaik may elect to spend a point of will. If he does, roll a d6 on a 4+, the enemy model must spend an additional point of the same type. Or the deed will be cancelled and any might, will, or fate already committed will be lost. Note that a hero that wishes to expend multiple points of might, will, or fate may wait to see how the Dwimmerlaik's roll affects their first point of might, will, or fate before committing to spending more. So yeah, the Dwimmerlaik will have to spend a point of will for every point he wishes to affect, though he may wait to see how his first point of will affects his opponent before deciding to spend another point of will. Yeah, so you can just drain people of their resources, their might, will, and fate. If you're good at rolling 4+, people are going to be spending like 2 minimum on heroic actions that would cost them 1, and like that's 2/3 of their store. That's 2 turns you're stealing from them. That's nuts. You can even get lucky and use all of it, or they might just say no, they're not going to spend another one and just lose it and get nothing out of it. I like his ability. I don't like him that much, purely because he's a 2-handed sword. Why? If he gets stuck in combat, he's got a very good chance of losing. For the -1 to his dual roll. Anyway, magical powers: Drain, Courage, Transfix, Compel, Black Dart, Instill Fear, Sap Will, same ranges and casting as the other Wraiths. Well, Wraith. There you go. Yep, I like him. I do like him, but if you had to pick between the Tainted or Dwimmerlaik, Tainted all day long. Here he is, Gulavhar, the Terror of Arnor. He is a whopping 200 points. He's a hero of valor. He is also a monster, as you can say, and he is a spirit, in case anyone was wondering. Okay, they all have the spirit rule so far. Yes, he's got a movement of 6. Okay, he's fight 7, so he's outfighting most other heroes. 4+ shoot value, strength 8, defense 5, attacks, it's got a little asterisk, wounds 4, courage, a little asterisk. He's got 3 might, 3 will, but 0 fate. He comes with heroic strength and defense, and huge claws and teeth as war gear. He's got fly, so he's not moving 6, he's moving 12 inches. Harbinger of Evil, monstrous charge as well, which is disgusting, resistant to magic, and causes terror, of course. Look at this big bad boy. Yep, so Immortal Hunger. Gulavhar regains a single wound for each model he slays in combat. Each model. Renders the only brutal power attack that allows Gulavhar to regain wounds in this manner. Can never take his wounds beyond 4. So he's almost unkillable if you keep him in combat and don't lose to a hero. It's pretty crazy. Strength of body, strength of will is his other passive special rule. Gulavhar's attacks and courage are always equal to his remaining wounds. So he starts out with 4 attacks and courage 4, which means on the charge he's got 5 attacks at fight 7, strength 8. With monstrous charge, yes, so you're knocking them prone, whether they're cavalry or even some monsters, because you are strength 8, so you're going to be knocking trolls over. Okay? And that means, yeah, you've got 10 attacks at strength 8 to kill things. Yeah. 200 points. I'd say that's rather cheap for what he can do. Very nice. If you can get this model somehow, or convert him, or buy, use a third party, absolutely give him a whirl. He's a load of fun. Anyway, moving on. We're on to the best looking person in the whole force. Barrow, Troll Chieftain. 110 points for this gorgeous specimen. He is movement 6, fight 6, 4+ shoot value, strength 6, defense 6, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 4, 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate, and he's a hero of valor. He has got a pick, so he can piercing strike, bumping him up to strength 7 if you need him to, but you lose D3 defense. He's got heroic strike, which is crazy on a troll, heroic strength, and heroic challenge. He causes terror. He can yeet a stone at someone at the range of 12 inches, strength 8. Hitting on 4s, which is better than most trolls, so there you go. And lead by example is his special rule. In a turn where he slays an enemy hero or monster, all friendly Angmar orc models and troll models within 6 counters being in range of a banner. So he's a sometimes banner. But I think he's not bad. He's not bad. If you want to bring a troll, you might as well bring a hero troll with might. There you go. Because why not? They're moving on. Fantastic unit. Okay, he's up there. 100 points for a hero fortitude. Okay. Obviously a spirit. Movement 6. Fight 1. So they're not fighters. 4+ shoot value. Strength 1. Definitely not a fighter. Defense 8. So they can take a hit. 1 attack. 3 wounds. So not a single arrow will take this guy out. Courage 1. They've got no might, 8 will, and no fate. The Shade has no specific weapons or war gear. But yeah, they don't count as being unarmed, is what you want to take from that. They've got Blades of the Dead, so they attack your courage rather than your defense, and they cause terror. And their Chill Aura is their passive ability. At the start of the fight phase, before heroic actions are declared, a Shade may expend a will point to activate this ability. Enemy models, and it's friendly enemy Angmar models now, since the FAQ came out, so no sticking them in your eyes of Guard 4s, there's impossible allies. Yeah, that was silly. Within 6 of him, suffer a -1 to their dual rolls, and it stacks. So if you've got people using two-handed weapons and near this guy, it's -2. So it's very good at stopping something like, say, a troll, an enemy troll, from rolling that 6 to win the fight. It's very good at stopping the Balrog. Yeah. Normal 6s to insta-win a fight. It's very good against elves. You can imagine what it's good against. Very useful model. I would suggest bringing at least 1. Barrow-wights, 50 points, hero fortitude, which is not bad actually. Of course, a spirit. They are movement 6, fight 3, 4+ shoot value, strength 3, defense 7, which is very respectable. 1 attack, 2 wounds, courage 6. They've got no might, 5 will, and no fate. Heavy armor and a sword. They've got Blades of the Dead and Terror, and they can cast 1 magical power, which is paralyze on a 4+ 6-inch range. Very strong. very, very strong at shutting down heroes. Because if you've got 2 of these and a Ring Wraith, yeah, you're going to get something through. You just shut down everything. I love Angmar. You play the opponent's army for them. Anyway, moving on. 2 for 1 here. I'm going to do them both at the same time. We've got the Angmar Orc Captain and the Orc Shaman. 40 points for the Captain. We'll start on him first. He's a hero of Fortitude. Of course, he's a Captain. Movement 6, Fight 4, 5+ shoot value because he's an Orc. Strength 4, Defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, Courage 3, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate, standard Captain. Armor, sword or pick. Give him a pick. Come on. Oh no. Go away, Discord. He's got Heroic March because he's a Captain. You can give him a Warg for 10 points. An Orc bow for 5. Don't. Give him a bow, please, he's an Orc. A shield for 5 points. Sure. Defense 6 is fantastic. So he's an Orc Captain. Always useful. Captains are always useful for Heroic Marches. And just having might. Then we've got the Orc Shaman. 50 points, slightly more expensive. Only a minor hero. He is Movement 6, Fight 3, 5+ shoot value, Strength 3, Defense 5, 1 attack, 2 wounds, Courage 3, 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. He's got heavy armor, dagger, and a spear, and comes with heroic channeling. You can give him a Warg for 10 points to make him a bit more killy or a bit more mobile. And he's got Wither, 12 inches, cast on a 3+, and Instill Fear, 3 inches on a 5+. Shame, I would have liked him to have Fury, but he doesn't. It's up to you if you bring him. In case you were wondering what Wither does, it reduces the enemy's strength by 1, or if you channel it, by D3. Cool. Moving on. Yep, that's a Warg Chieftain. Yeah, I couldn't find the other model. But you know what he's meant to be. He looks like he's going poo-poos. Anyway, the Wild Warg Chieftain is 80 points. Hero of Fortitude. He's got a movement of 10. He is Fight 5, which is really respectful. He's Strength 6, which is crazy good. Defense 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, Courage 4, 2 might, 2 will, 1 fate. He's got Claws and Teeth, and he's got Heroic March and Heroic Strength. Oh my god, he's a must-bring. He's better than a Captain. He causes terror as well. But wait, he's a Pack Lord, so only friendly Warg models may benefit from the Wild Warg Chieftain's Standfast or Heroic actions. Cool. Yeah, you can bring one if you want. He's pretty good, actually. Now here we have the Angmar Orc Warrior for a whopping 5 points. They are standard orcs, okay? Movement 6, Fight 3, 5+ shoot value, Strength 3, Defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 2. Woo, Courage 2 for Angmar. Hooray. If only we had access to Fury from our Shaman. He's got armor, or a sword, or a pick. I mean, if you're going to pick out of all them, I'd go for a pick over a sword. But that's my personal preference. I'm not a stabbing person, I'm a piercing person. You can give him a banner for 25 points, an orc bow for 1 point, shield for 1 point, spear for 1 point, two-handed weapon for 1 point. I like a mix of shields and swords, and probably spears and shields if you can afford it, because, yeah, why not? I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference unless you go against Strength 4. So it's up to you. You can save the points. They're just orcs. Who cares about orcs, hey? But you do get access to shielding, so that's why I like bringing shields. Yep, your backbone of your army. You're gonna need these boys. Angmar Warg Rider, 11 points for this bad boy. So, of course, it's a cavalry riding a big old wolf boy. Movement 6 inches, but of course it's cavalry. So 10. Fight value 3, 5+ shoot, Strength 3, Defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 2. It's an orc and a Warg, okay? So you're actually Strength 4, because you can use your mount Strength. Just saying. There you go. Yep, it comes with armor, sword, and a Warg. You've got a banner for 25 point upgrade, orc bow for 1 point, shield for 1 point, and throwing spear 1 point. My hint to you right now is give these guys throwing spears. Throwing spears are absolutely ridiculously good. Okay? Because not only could you possibly kill them in the charge phase, you've got a ranged attack, you can then carry on through and charge someone else, so you get 2 for the price of 1 in some cases. I know you only hit on 5s, but who cares? It's good. They have a cave troll for 75 points. So, yep, cave troll. Very nice. Okay. They have movement 6, fight 6, shoot value of 5+, strength 6, defense 6, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 3. they're pretty good. You know, they're cheap trolls. I like them. They come with a spear standard. You can give them a troll chain, which is a throwing weapon. Yeah, 3-inch throwing weapon at strength 5. That's pretty nuts. Troll chains are fantastic. And you can swap his spear for a 1.5 hammer for 5 points. Yeah, that's not bad at all. They are burly, cause terror, and throw stones. Range 12 inches, strength 8. My tip to you: you can run these boys in 2 ways. One, to support your orcs or your heroes. I'd say, yeah, well, fight 6 supporting model. Go for it if you don't want to use 3 attacks. Or you can do the Shadow Wraith way, which I prefer, which is a troll chain and a 1.5 hammer, 2-handed every single time. Charge in, throw your chain at people, and then smack them over the head with a strength 6 +1 to wound hammer. So yeah, there you go. That's what I'd do. If you get to yeet a stone, that's a bonus. Yep, troll's a troll. Here we have the Dead Marsh Spectre. 15 points. Okay. He's got movement 6, fight 2, so not a fighter again. Shoot value 4+, strength 3, defense 5, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6. So these are your warrior versions of your ghosts. If you just want a full ghost army, you can. Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. I don't know how good it would be, but it sounds really cool. Heavy armor and a sword. They've got Blaze of the Dead, so strength 3, wounding on courage is actually really strong. They've got a fell light is in them. It's an active ability, so at any point during its move, you can choose a single enemy model anywhere within 12 inches and line of sight because you're staring at them. That model must pass a courage test. Yeah. If they fail, they can make a full move under the control of the Spectre's controlling player, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, even if it's already moved. The model cannot be used to enter an enemy's control zone or perform actions that would cause them to do stupid things like dismount or jump into the river and stuff like that. So yeah, cool. Affected models may move no further that turn and may not use active abilities for the remainder of the move phase. So that's pretty nice. That's really strong, very strong, very strong. These guys are scary, okay, very scary. I mean, now you're looking at your King Ellis and I'll be like, I'm courage like 1,000,000 and it'll be fine. Yeah, but you can roll a double 1 and then you can either spend your will, which you need to resist my spells, to stop me controlling you, or you let me control you. Yeah, that was it. I thought I had something better. Never mind. Next, here we have the non-pooping Warg. I should have used this one as the Chieftain. Yeah. Anyway, Wild Warg, 7 points, very cheap for a movement 10 model. They've got fight 3, strength 4. I wish I was strength 5. Defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 2. They're pretty solid. These are cheap cavalry units. These are fantastic. The fact you have access to these is so strong. Just because cavalry is usually quite expensive, okay? And why do you bring cavalry? Sure, for the cavalry charge, but I bring a couple of cavalries to shoot off and grab objectives or run off the other side of the board or siege, put pressure on the enemy camp. Mobility is massive in this game. You get it for 7 points. So yeah, just saying, that's why they're so strong. So that's the whole army roster gone through. Now, why would you want to play Angmar? Perhaps you are like me, and you like the darker forces, the things that go bump in the night, stuff like that, the scary things, and things that are made of what some people would consider shadows, and you like wraiths, and you can toy with your opponent at a distance, if not control their army, you can control their heroes. If you hate how good the good guy heroes are, if you hate Dane Ironfoot, the King LSRs, the Bannermeers, this is the army for you. You can just shut them down hard and fast. These guys are fantastic for it. You can play your opponent's army for them. If you want to be one of the ultimate evil forces in this game, Angmar is for you. I love them. I think they're fantastic. If you want a trick for every situation, if you want a counter to every hero they bring, whether that be bring the Witch King and Gulavhar together to just ruffle stomp something into the ground, or Spectres and the Shades to control your opponent's heroes and give your opponent's army -1 to their dual rolls with a 6-inch aura, yeah, these guys are for you. How do you want to play these? Well, the first thing I want to say is bring the Witch King, okay? At least on a horse, and give him the crown of Morgul. Always give him that. That's it, okay? Give him at least a couple of points of might, or at least 1 point of fate, and the will is up to you, okay? Because remember, you will be losing will if you get into combat with him. On top of that, you want to be casting spells. So perhaps 5 is a good standard, you know? About 5 will, give him 15. That's not too bad. If that's too expensive for you, 12 is a minimum, I would say. 12 will. So I'd go 2 might, 12 will, 1 fate as a minimum, okay? Yeah, that's Witch King covered. Okay, Gulavhar, if you can get hold of him, bring him. He's especially good when you've got the points to fill out, so you've got enough troops on the ground, but you have got cheap troops, so you can be spending 150 points of your force, or 200, well, 300 points. Let's go for 320 points-ish of your 600 point army on the 2 heroes. Okay, because your orcs are 5 points a model. You've got wargs at 7 points to bring the mobility. You can afford to do it. Maybe it's not the best way to play it, but you can do it. If you want to go for the alternate wraiths, I highly recommend the Tainted over the Dwimmerlaik, purely because I think his ability is better. There's no risk, there's no roll off. With the Dwimmerlaik, you have to roll off. There's a 50-50 chance you have to spend a point of will, 50-50 chance for it to do anything. If it does something, fantastic. But if it doesn't, you spend a point of will for nothing. Whilst the Tainted, okay, you can just spend a point of will and go. No one's getting a heroic move this turn. It's absolutely crazily good. So, yeah, that's what I suggest. I'd bring at least 1 shade if you've got the points for him, because he's fantastic. It's good for neutering these powerhouses like the Balrog. Okay, the Balrog is so prominent in my meta in my area for some reason. I get it, he's a very good, impressive model, but the shade can turn him off, and orcs can beat him once the shade turn him off. If you throw more dice in the Balrog, he can't win if you roll a 6. You auto beat him with a goblin. You know, a warg can beat him if your warg rolls a 6. That's how powerful the shade is. Okay, people will be gunning for your shade. The downside to running Angmar, though, is people like Galadriel as well, and the Lady of Light especially, because she's got Banish. Banish just inflicts 1 wound on a spirit model. Terrible for your ring rays. Not too bad on your shades because you've got a couple of wounds, but your ring rays only have 1, which is why I suggest bringing Fate with them. Okay, you can of course resist it, which is why I say the Crown of Morgul, so you can re-roll resist dice. But yeah, that's the main thing. You want a good, healthy body of troops. You want a couple of spirit models. So whether that be a Shade, the Witch King, and maybe scattering a couple of the Dead Marsh Spectres, just to truly control your opponent's army. That's an ideal way. But I would definitely recommend Witch King. Okay, this is lower points. Okay, Witch King on horse, right? Bring 1 Shade. And at least 2, maybe. Yeah, let's go for 2. Where are they? Dead Marsh Spectres. Okay, we're going to have 2 of these. Okay, and then a Barrow-wight. And that is pretty much all the Spectres you need. If you want captains, go for it. Okay, captains are good for Heroic March. But the reason Heroic March is not as prominent for you is because you can bring very cheap, fast-moving units. Like the fantastic dog that is sprinting, or the even better pooping dog. I can't find him. Don't bring the pooping dog. This is what you need. Yeah, I'd say these are the winner units for lower points. As soon as you get to higher points, you can bring the big bat boy. Okay, the big bat boy is fantastic. Oh, you get out of here. We don't want you. That's the one we want. Okay. But make sure you're bringing enough troops, okay? Don't spend all your points on heroes. Don't get caught into that, horrible habit where you spend all your points on heroes. You're not playing Thorin's Company, but evil. You are playing an army, okay? So make sure you bring enough troops. You're lucky to be playing evil, and your troops are cheap as chips. As cheap as you want. You can have 5 points. Orcs just running around with little picks. Who cares about them? But I would give them spear sports, because you want to be throwing weight of attacks. Yeah. Okay. You've got option to very cheap, very killy fight 6 models. So he's extremely cheap for what you can do.
Being strength 6 with +1 to wound burly is absolutely nuts. With a troll chain, yeah, you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, it's your choice if you want to be spending more points on Angmar Warg riders, but if you do, I'd just give them a throwing spear, or a shield, or both if you're playing enough points. But if you're playing lower points, I'd probably stick to the Wargs. Okay, they're your objective grabbers. You can bring, I'd always suggest maybe bringing 1 or 2 of these to kind of like follow around or hang about things like your shades, just so they don't get knocked over by cavalry charges. Okay, because as soon as a cavalry charges them and beats them, they get knocked prone, they're in very big trouble. If they manage to charge your shade, you can charge with your Warg rider and switch off their cavalry bonus. Okay, there's one more pro that I want to mention with Angmar, and that is the terror rule. You can build around terror. You've got Harbinger of Evil that you can have multiple layers of. You've got this bad boy, you've got the Witch King, you've got Wraiths, and on top of that, if your orcs are within 3 inches of any of these models here, apart from obviously the orc and the warg, get out of here, and the troll, screw you, you gain terror. So if you do lose priority, not always a bad thing. I like it, especially with my Dead of Dunharrow or anything like that. If I lose priority, sometimes I'll wait and see. Unless they've got an army full of bodyguard, which some forces can do, you can wait and see to see where the charges are. And who knows, they might only get 1/3 of their charges actually in to combat, and then your rest of the army can jump on those guys and delete 1/3 of their charges instead of all their charges and have a back and forth. With a shade nearby, it'd be much easier. Anyway, if you're more professional or more adept at using this force than me, is that English? Who knows? Let me know in the comment section down below how you play your Angmar force. I'm very interested. This is a force I've played around with a few times, but not quite competitively yet. I haven't taken them to a tournament, mainly because I can't get hold of this little sausage. Or this little sausage. So that's the other thing. If you're selling either of these two, let me know. And you live in the UK. So, yeah, if you like the video, do consider liking. And if you are feeling especially saintly today, or evil, consider subscribing. But even though I don't do either of those things, I still hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.